Kirk Frost really thought he could keep doing whatever he wanted without consequences. But the truth finally caught up to him, this time with a pair of handcuffs. Yes, you heard that right. Kirk Frost has been arrested after allegedly putting his hands on Rasheeda, and let me tell you, the details are messy. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Not Kirk again?" Oh yes, again. But this time, it's not just another scandal, not some secret love child drama. This is a real crime. The police were called to the Frost house after a serious fight left Rasheeda in tears. And Kirk? Well, he was let out in handcuffs, looking like he just realized everything he built is about to come crashing down. And it gets worse. Word is, this isn't just about one argument. No, this might be the result of years of lying, shady business deals, and emotional abuse. Did Rasheeda finally hit her limit? Did Kirk lose it because his secrets were about to be exposed? Or is this just another chapter in the never-ending Frost mess? Either way, get comfortable, because once you hear the full story, you might never see Kirk and Rasheeda the same way again. I don't even know where to begin with this one, because this situation is on a whole new level. We've all seen Kirk in hot water before, cheating scandals, side babies, and suspicious money moves. But this is different. Kirk Frost is sitting in a jail cell right now after allegedly putting his hands on Rasheeda. And before you try to write this off as just another celebrity couple fight, let me break down what really went down. It was supposed to be a regular night at the Frost house. Kirk and Rasheeda were at home, maybe pretending like everything was fine, but behind closed doors, the tension had been growing for months. And honestly, are we even surprised? After everything Kirk has done to Rasheeda over the years, cheating, lying, manipulating her money, embarrassing her publicly, he was lucky she stayed with him this long. But this time, Rasheeda wasn't just thinking about leaving. She made it clear. And apparently, that was all it took to push Kirk over the edge. Sources close to the couple, who may or may not be reliable, say that Rasheeda recently confronted Kirk about some shady business moves he'd been making behind her back. The word is Kirk had been moving money from their joint accounts into private business ventures. And guess what? Those business ventures allegedly involved another woman. That's right. While Rasheeda was out here working hard to build their empire, Kirk was allegedly spending their money on someone else. Now, we all know Rasheeda has been through it with Kirk. She stood by him through the whole Jasmine Washington paternity scandal. Yes, in case you forgot, Kirk had a whole baby with another woman while pretending to be a devoted husband. And even after that, she stayed. Even when he got caught cheating again and again, she stayed. But stealing money from her? That was the final straw. So here's what apparently happened that night. It was late, and Rasheeda had been looking over financial records when she noticed something off. Big chunks of money missing, wire transfers going to offshore accounts, fake business names popping up. So, like any smart businesswoman, she confronted Kirk. Instead of admitting to anything, Kirk tried to gaslight her, telling her she was overreacting, that she was just stressed. But Rasheeda wasn't falling for it this time. She started demanding answers, asking Kirk if he was using their money to support another woman. At first, Kirk tried to laugh it off, but when Rasheeda pulled out proof, things got serious. He got defensive, accusing her of never appreciating him, acting like he built everything by himself, as if Rasheeda hasn't been grinding for years. They argued back and forth for what seemed like hours, and then Kirk said something that crossed the line. We don't know exactly what he said, but whatever it was, it sent Rasheeda over the edge. She grabbed her phone and threatened to call her lawyer, saying she was going to take everything from him. And that's when Kirk allegedly snapped. According to the police report, yes, there is an actual police report, Kirk grabbed Rasheeda by the arm and shoved her against a wall. Neighbors reported hearing Rasheeda screaming, followed by loud crashing noises. One even said they heard glass breaking, then silence. That's when someone, maybe a neighbor, called 911. By the time police arrived, Kirk was standing in the living room, acting like nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was crying, her eyes swollen and red. Officers questioned both of them, but after taking one look at Rasheeda, and maybe even noticing some bruises, they put Kirk in handcuffs right then and there. And then, Kirk made things even worse for himself. When the police asked why he put his hands on Rasheeda, he allegedly said, "It's not that serious." Excuse me? You lay hands on your wife, get arrested in your own house, and think it's no big deal? We all know Kirk has a history of doing shady things, but this is a whole new low, and the fact that he thought he could brush it off like nothing, that tells you everything you need to know about him. The internet wasted no time reacting. As soon as the news broke, trucker Kirk Frost arrested started trending. Some people were shocked, but honestly, most people were saying, "We been new." Because let's be real, Kirk has been moving foul for years. The only surprising part is that it took Rasheeda this long to finally say, enough. And Rasheeda, she's done. Sources say that as soon as Kirk was taken away, she called her lawyer. Word is she's planning to file for divorce immediately. And she's not just leaving. She's coming for half of everything Kirk owns. And let's be real, she deserves it. Kirk may think he's a smooth talker, but Rasheeda is a businesswoman. She knows exactly how to play this game. If Kirk thought he was going to walk away untouched, he's about to get a wake-up call. But hold on, because the drama isn't over yet. There are rumors that this fight wasn't just about money. Some people are saying Kirk has been hiding a secret for years, and whatever it is, it's about to come out. And trust me, when it does, it's going to change everything. Kirk Frost's situation is getting worse by the minute, and if you thought part 1 was messy, you haven't heard anything yet. The truth behind his arrest is even more shocking than we initially thought. Last time we left off with Kirk being taken away in handcuffs after allegedly putting his hands on Rasheeda. But this wasn't just a random argument that got out of control. This was years of betrayal, financial manipulation, and emotional warfare finally boiling over. Rasheeda had reached her breaking point. And honestly, who could blame her? But the real shocker? This wasn't just about money. There's another layer to this scandal, and it makes Kirk look even worse than he already does. Remember when I mentioned Kirk was allegedly funneling money into private ventures, possibly to support another woman? Well, turns out that wasn't just a rumor. The worst part? The woman involved wasn't a stranger. It was someone Rasheeda knew very well. Sources close to the situation, and I mean people who were at the Frost house regularly, say that Rasheeda recently discovered Kirk had been secretly supporting one of her closest friends. Yes, you heard that right? Not some random Instagram model, not a woman he met at a club, a friend, someone Rasheeda trusted, someone who had been in her home, sitting at her table, acting like nothing was wrong. Rasheeda had been suspicious for months. She noticed how this so-called friend was suddenly living an extravagant lifestyle. Designer bags, luxury vacations, first-class flights. It didn't make sense. This woman didn't have a job that could afford all of that. But Rasheeda couldn't put her finger on what was going on. Then one day, she got a tip from another friend. Someone had seen Kirk and this woman together at a high-end hotel in Atlanta, and they weren't just having a casual conversation. Rasheeda wasted no time confronting Kirk, and according to sources, at first, he didn't even try to deny it. He hit her with the classic gaslighting. "It's not what you think. You're being paranoid. We were just discussing business." But Rasheeda wasn't buying it. She asked him what kind of business they needed to discuss in a private hotel suite at 2 a.m. That's when Kirk allegedly snapped. People close to the situation say Kirk lashed out, calling Rasheeda insecure and controlling. And then he said something that completely flipped the situation upside down. He told her, "Maybe if you paid more attention to me, I wouldn't have to go looking elsewhere." Excuse me, sir? The same Rasheeda who stuck by you after you had a child with another woman? The same Rasheeda who helped build your entire business while you were out in the streets? The same Rasheeda who remained loyal when most women would have left years ago? And this is how you justify your betrayal? But it gets worse. After that argument, Rasheeda told Kirk she was done, actually done. She told him she was calling her lawyer and filing for divorce. And that's when Kirk allegedly became aggressive. According to the police report, Kirk grabbed Rasheeda's phone and tried to delete the evidence. When she tried to take it back, he allegedly grabbed her wrist and pushed her against the wall. That's when Rasheeda screamed loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Now let's talk about the arrest. This was not just a simple domestic disturbance call. When the police arrived, Kirk wasn't just defensive, he was arrogant. Officers asked what happened, and he had the audacity to say Rasheeda was overreacting, and that it was a misunderstanding. Sir, how is putting your hands on your wife, who you've humiliated publicly for years, a misunderstanding? But here's what really sealed Kirk's fate. When the police searched his phone, they found text messages, hundreds of them, between him and this so-called friend. And these messages weren't about business. Kirk and this woman had been in a full-blown relationship for over a year, and the receipts were all there. Plane tickets, hotel bookings, money transfers, shopping trips. They even had pet names for each other. One message allegedly said, "Don't worry, baby. As soon as I'm done with Rasheeda, we can finally be together." Excuse. Me? This man was planning his exit while Rasheeda was out here working to keep their empire together. And the confidence he had, thinking he'd get away with it, is mind-blowing. But guess what else the police found? Bank records. And Kirk had been moving serious money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, into this woman's account. This wasn't just some side affair. He was financially supporting her using money meant for Rasheeda's business. And you know what that means, right? Fraud. That's right. Kirk wasn't just cheating, he was allegedly committing financial fraud. And when authorities saw how much money he was moving through fake business accounts and personal transfers, this became more than just a domestic case. Now, Kirk is looking at more than just domestic violence charges. If the fraud and embezzlement charges stick, he's not just losing Rasheeda, he might be losing his freedom too. And Rasheeda, oh, she's already ahead of the game. Sources say she immediately called her legal team after Kirk's arrest. She's getting ready to fight for full custody of their business assets and take him to court for everything he's got. And honestly, after years of public humiliation, a secret child, and now financial betrayal, Kirk is getting exactly what he deserves. But the story isn't over. Now that Kirk's legal problems are coming to light, other people are starting to speak up. And what they're saying? Oh, it's about to make this whole situation even worse. Because remember that friend Kirk was involved with? Turns out she wasn't the only one. And now another woman is coming forward with her own receipts. And trust me, when you hear what she's accusing Kirk of, you're going to be shocked. But for that tea, you'll have to wait for part 3. Because this story is about to take another wild turn. If you thought the first 2 parts of this story were shocking, you might want to sit down because things are about to get even worse. Kirk Frost's legal troubles are just the beginning. Now that the story is out, more people are coming forward with claims that could completely ruin his reputation and even land him in jail. When we last left off, Kirk had just been arrested for allegedly assaulting Rasheeda after she confronted him about secretly moving money into private accounts. Some of these accounts were reportedly linked to one of Rasheeda's so-called friends. As if that wasn't already bad enough, the police found text messages and financial records that suggested Kirk had been using Rasheeda's money to fund this woman's lifestyle. But here's where things get even messier. She wasn't the only woman he was involved with. Just when Kirk thought his situation couldn't get any worse, another woman stepped forward. And she wasn't just anyone. This woman is said to be a well-known influencer in Atlanta. What she had to say about Kirk made the entire situation look even dirtier than it already was. This influencer, who has chosen to remain anonymous for now, claims she was in a relationship with Kirk for over 2 years. Not only that, but Kirk allegedly told her he was planning to leave Rasheeda and start a new life with her. Sound familiar? That's because it's the same lie he told the first woman. But this woman didn't just come forward with rumors, she brought proof. She has screenshots, videos, bank statements, and even recorded phone calls where Kirk supposedly admitted to manipulating Rasheeda, lying to her about business deals, and using her business as collateral for a private loan to support his lifestyle with this other woman. If that's true, it's beyond just cheating. It's full-on financial fraud. So, let's break this down. Kirk was allegedly cheating on Rasheeda with multiple women. He was reportedly using Rasheeda's business assets to fund his relationships. He was also allegedly involved in shady financial dealings that could lead to embezzlement and fraud charges. And somehow he thought he wouldn't get caught? It gets even worse. After this second woman came forward, more people started speaking out. Former employees and associates of Kirk and Rasheeda are now claiming that Kirk has been involved in money laundering for years. Word is that he was using fake companies and offshore accounts to hide money from both Rasheeda and the government. Allegedly, he would move funds from their business accounts into these shell companies, then transfer the money into private accounts under his name. And guess who was supposedly helping him do this? That's right, the same friend he was accused of being involved with. This scandal isn't just about infidelity anymore. It looks like Kirk has been running a whole financial scheme behind Rasheeda's back. And when Rasheeda found out, she was done. Instead of sitting around crying, Rasheeda took immediate action. According to sources, she's already working with forensic accountants and legal advisors to freeze all of Kirk's business accounts. But here's where it gets even crazier. Since Kirk and Rasheeda were legally business partners, he may have violated their business agreement by using joint funds for personal expenses. That means Rasheeda has legal grounds to strip Kirk of his ownership stake in their businesses. In other words, Kirk might not just lose his marriage, he could lose everything they built together. And trust me, Rasheeda isn't playing. She has already filed for an emergency hearing to freeze all shared assets until the investigation is complete. If Kirk is found guilty of financial fraud, his career and freedom could both be on the line. Now, here's the part that will really blow your mind. Remember how Kirk was telling both women that he was going to leave Rasheeda? Well, according to leaked text messages, he was also trying to sell his share of their business behind Rasheeda's back. His plan was to walk away with a clean payout. But the deal fell through. Why? Because Rasheeda's name was on the contract, and the buyer didn't want to make a move without her approval. So not only was Kirk trying to take money that wasn't his, but he also got caught because Rasheeda was smarter than his shady schemes. Now, Kirk isn't just facing fraud charges. He might also be looking at conspiracy to commit fraud, which could mean jail time. And the public? They are eating this up. Social media exploded as soon as the news broke. The hashtag #KirkFrostArrested has been trending, and people are dragging him nonstop. Even his longtime supporters are turning against him, with many saying his career is officially over. Meanwhile, Rasheeda is having a glow-up in the middle of all this. After Kirk's arrest, she posted a cryptic message on Instagram. Sometimes, God removes people from your life for a reason. Trust the process. That's all she had to say, and people immediately knew she was moving on. Sources say Rasheeda is already in talks with multiple networks to turn this entire scandal into a documentary series. And if she releases a Surviving Kirk Frost documentary, oh, it's going to break the internet. As for Kirk, he's spiraling. Word is that his lawyers are already trying to work out a plea deal because they know he wouldn't survive a full trial. But here's his problem. If he admits to financial fraud, he won't just lose his business. He might lose his freedom. And Rasheeda, she's already made it clear that there is no coming back from this. At this point, Kirk is looking at a failed marriage, financial ruin, possible jail time, and the complete destruction of his career. And honestly, he brought it all on himself. Let's be real. Kirk had years to fix his mistakes. He had a loyal wife who stuck by him through everything. He had a successful business that Rasheeda helped build. He had opportunities to change, but instead he chose to cheat, lie, and steal. And now, he's sitting in a jail cell wondering how he got here. But the answer is simple. He did this to himself. So the real question now is, can Kirk survive this scandal, or is this the final nail in his career's coffin? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on this messy situation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, there's more drama coming.